Good afternoon on what is a cool, bright and sunny day. It is Sunday the 5th of November, Guy Fawkes Day, and I've got a nice hot cup of tea and a parcel to unbox. And this has been sent by Macmillan. So I'm not going to show you the address, but I'm going to show you basically that. Tells me who it's from. So I do know who it's from. I have a good idea of what's in here, but I've not had a chance to look at them yet, of course. So let's get this open. Nice and easy. What's in here is that. And I'm going to pull out, let's just work from the top, is Pressure. Industrial science fiction role-playing by Jonathan Hicks, who will be probably best known to you as the author of Those Dark Places, which does explores a kind of similar genre to industrial role-playing, science fiction role-playing, whereas that was kind of blue-collar science fiction role-playing in the tone of Alien and Alien more than Aliens. Basically dealing with threats and dangers of working in deep space, essentially in the industrial confines of deep space. So, investigate links to organised crime, neutralise rogue weapons research, negotiate with rebel leaders and orbital stations, and hunt down whatever that black budget excavation team awoke out in the Procyon sector, all in a day's work. As highly skilled agents of special operations squads, it's your job to clean up after the corporations that stand between humanity and the darkness at the heart of its fragile and claustrophobic existence, both on Earth and among the stars. The universe may be a dangerous and hostile place, and the hypercities and the deep black alike may hide powerful foes. But you have the tools, the training, and the resources to face these dangers, you hope. Pressure, industrial science fiction role-playing game, is a rules-light, story-focused game of law, order, and survival in the dark and dangerous corners of a universe rife with corruption and dominated by corporate interests. An entirely standalone game, Pressure also develops and expands upon the mechanics and setting introduced in Those Dark Places role-playing game. So this, in effect, is an expansion and a sequel. And what I'm actually getting the feeling of, if Those Dark Places is Alien, Pressure is Aliens. Essentially in its tone, the tone of its horror. Now, that necessarily may well be the case, but that's certainly the initial impression I get from the description. So, okay, and it said this is an Osprey Games book. So really, these are really nicely done, tidy little books. Osprey has put out numerous little role-playing games that are really worth checking out. Jackals is great. Those Dark Places are really nicely done, very scaled down blue-collar science fiction role-playing. So we have an introduction, and the automatically we have the kind of reference here to Alien and Jones the Cat. And description of what industrial role-playing game is essentially industrial science fiction is, explanation of who you're working for, the special operations squads, and it does look at sort of like other scenario options. And we've got advice here for the general monitor, the game master, essentially the GM, and for the players. There and there. Details that you're going to create about your character, that list, quite a lengthy list, but nevertheless, giving you some kind of background, some detail that both you and the general monitor can work with, and then we've got discussion actually the rulebook itself. We have in-game text here, officer's briefing, and then creating character background, adding attributes, how to use them, how to use skills. So this then is a much more active role-playing game in a sense than those dark places. In here, you're going out and dealing with threats. With those dark places, you're kind of encountering threats and surviving them. Right, so we've got a list of all the skills available. The new skills adds rules for levels of success. Playing a synthetic automaton. So, you know, just like in Aliens, you can play an android. Of course, basically saying, you know, synthetic automaton, not an android. Post roles and combat. So, suffering damage. So, you know, the rules of combat are not going to be are not detailed, but they're effective. They're going to be short and punchy. And then we get on to pressure. Pressure, essentially, pressure is essentially the feeling of encountering the unknown. You know, dealing with dangerous situations and so on. So anything that is incredibly shocking, terrifying, or horrifying can trigger a pressure roll. It does not need to be a jump scare or surprise, just a creature leaping from the darkness or a frozen corpse suddenly falling from a cupboard. And it doesn't need to be an actual physical occurrence. The mind can play serious tricks on you. And if failed, this can lead to episodes of the character like losing control, suffering an effect. Or a discussion of action adventure games, how to use experience points, both in terms of basically in play and also in building your character, money and equipment, handling vehicles, because essentially this is more of an action-oriented role-playing game. So you know you're doing chases, and this includes ground and null-drive vehicles, starships. Section around starship identifications, starship statistics, systems, and so on. How interstellar travel works, and even combat. Tables there for starship damage for the different systems. And, NPCs. And then essentially all this has been sort of like a back at base. You know, we've got a selection of NPCs before we move on to what's out there in the darkness, including dangerous personnel, rogue AIs, very contemporary, creatures, things in the shadows, you know, ghost spirits, poltergeists, and of course aliens. And then we come to in conclusion, and this all is in effect an in-game briefing given by the officer. So this section, you know, the right way through, so basically the large middle section is there given by an officer, you know, to the player characters, to the characters in the game, in essence, the player characters. Then we have an orientation briefing, and this gives you all the background, history from 2122 to the present day. So it's far enough in the future. Takes you up as, let's have a look, 2340 in the present day. A discussion of the various corporations such as Cambridge, Wallace, Wayne Tanaka, kind of very aliens, kind of Alienverse feel. Hudson Automatons, Hedge Lundis. We've got other organisations as well listed there, including the RUG, a general catch-all for criminal organisations, cults and terrorists. Section on cybernetics, and then near space. So we're talking about Earth, you know, basically the solar system, Earth orbit, the solar system, explored space, and then general monitors briefing. So this is back for the game master, the referee, and we have Foster report, which is a scenario ready to play. Description of the actual situation, so on. Got a location map and what's going on. And I'll basically throw out GM notes, adding details, adding flavour, and then we come to the conclusion. So, case file for your player characters, and then a list of acknowledgements and so on at the back from the author. And that then is Pressure from Jonathan Hicks and published by Osprey Games, which is out now. I mean, as I'm sitting here, it's going to be due out very soon, and I'm looking forward to giving this a good review, because I really did like those dark places, and this expands the setting, gives you new player character options. You don't need those dark places necessarily, but it's sort of like this just adds to it. So yeah, those dark places published by Osprey Games. Anyway, hope you've enjoyed this unboxing in the Nook. If you have, then please do click on the like button down below. And of course, if you've got any comments or feedback, I do appreciate you taking the time to post those. And lastly, if you want to be alerted to yet more unboxings in the Nook, where you'll see me out here, okay, if I can get hold of it, with a parcel containing a book or game or supplement, in this case a little role-playing game, which I will unbox and chat about to the best of my ability for roughly 10 minutes or so, all of course accompanied by a nice cup of tea. Then please do click on the subscribe button down below. Thanks again for watching another unboxing of Nook. I will be back again soon with another one. Bye for now.